Zamfara village held 7 Katsina farmers killed, 38 others abducted. Governors to meet on Wednesday over insecurity. President Muhammadu Buhari vows to end terrorism soon. On business, International Monetary Fund seeks unified exchange rate for Naira. On sports, National Sports Festival postponed to 2021 over COVID-19. And on the international scene, Biden to appoint Nigerian-born Adewale Adeyemo as U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary. Welcome to Svtv News. I am Osajoy Unyoza. Bandits have killed the village head of Gwaram in Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State, Alhaji Umaru Magaji, and kidnapped 8 other persons, including the wife of the village head. An indigene of the area, Usman Gwara, told the Punch that the bandits who came to the village around 3 a.m. on Monday wanted to kidnap the village head, but he refused to follow them. According to Usman, the village head told the bandit that he preferred to die than follow them. For more on the story, we now to our correspondent Sumaya Ibrahim.
When the bandits realized that the village head was not cooperating with them, they caught him with a machete and he bled to death. Malam Usman said that they later moved to other houses where they kidnapped 8 people, including the wife of the district head of the area, Hajia Sharifa, and the former People Democratic Party ward chairman, Alhaji Musa Makeri. Meanwhile, a member of the Katsina House of Assembly, Ibrahim Machika, on Monday disclosed that the bandits killed 7 farmers and abducted 30 others during different operations in Tashambama, Dogun Ma'azu, and Ungwan Magaya village in Sabwa local government area. Malam Ibrahim Machika, who represents Sabwa constituency in the House of Assembly, made the while sponsoring a motion on the need to improve security in some communities in the council. He said the incident occurred over the weekend. Smile Dosa reporting for SBTV News.
The Zamfara State Governor Dr. Bello Matawale Maradun has inaugurated the State Committee for the Campaign Against Gender-Based Violence Against Women and Children, reiterating his administration resolve in giving fair representation to women by his government through appointment and targeted social intervention schemes so as to make them less susceptible to all forms of manipulation. He said as a responsible government ever willing to safeguard the lives of its people and promoting their well-being, it will take decisive steps to bring an end to the culture of violence against women and children, whom he said have suffered enough from displacement and other difficult conditions as a result of banditry in some communities of the state. For more on the story, Samira Ibrahim reports.
The governor assured that his government will continue to collaborate with non-governmental groups to develop the needed synergy to achieve the desired objective of creating awareness on the plight of women and children, as well as ways of combating the problems, noting that Islam has already given women a pivotal of nursing and nurturing the society, which the government will build on, especially by using the woman virtues to eradicate banditry and bring development. He said his administration is implementing a women empowerment program piloted by the First Lady, restructured the Ministry of Women Affairs to include children, and will continue to target women and children with appropriate policies that will improve their lots and promote the well-being of societies. Governor Matawale also assured that his administration will remain committed to preventing violence against women and sustain the current effort to identify ways of mitigating these heinous crimes against humanity, as well as execute all legislations relating to issues of children and women. According to him, already the State House of Assembly is working on the domestication of the Child Rights Act, to which he promised to assent into law as soon as it is passed by the House. Other proposed legislation such as Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law and New Model Penal Code will equally be given due consideration as soon as the legislation processes are completed, calling on the general public, most especially parents, guardians, teachers, and other community leaders to be alive to their responsibility of ensuring that women and children are protected against all forms of violence, molestation, and abuse. In her speech, the First Lady of the state, Haja Aisha Bello Matawalli, who is also the chairperson of the committee, commended the governor for his unflinching support in the fight against gender-based violence against women and children in the state. Samira Ibrahim reporting for SBTV News.
Kidnappers on Monday morning attacked motorists at Corner Sensia axis of Kaduna Zaria Road in Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. Report says the location of the attack is about 2 kilometers away from Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. The Kaduna State government confirmed the attack on the road by hoodlums in a statement by the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan. For more on the story, Hawa Muhammad reports.
Although no death was reported in the attack so far, however, many passengers escaped with gunshot injuries. According to Mr. Aruan, the military thwarted armed bandits on the Kaduna-Abuja and Kaduna-Zaria roads in the wee hour of Sunday, 29th November, and early hours of Monday, 30th November 2020 respectively. At Hunatsinsia axis of Kaduna-Zaria road, Igabi local government, troops of 4 Battalion Nigeria Army overpowered armed bandits that were shooting at the motorists plying the route. One of the bandits was neutralized while several escaped with bullet wounds. Furthermore, the troops rescued 39 persons traveling to Onitsha from Sokoto from the armed bandits. The troops are still trailing the bandits to areas said to be their enclave. It was gathered that the troops responded to distress call about bandits attacking and rustling in the same general area. On arriving at the location, the troops recovered 69 cattle, while one of the armed bandits was neutralized. Hawa Muhammad reporting for SVTV News.
The 36 state governors are to hold a teleconference on Wednesday to evolve a new national security order that will ensure the safety of lives and property in the country. The Nigerian Governors Forum disclosed this in a statement by its head Media and Public Affairs, Mr. Abdulrazak Bello Barikindo, on Monday in Abuja. Mr. Bello Barikindo said that the forum at the 22nd meeting would also be receiving zonal updates on the disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad and internal security. For more on the story, Rahama Ibrahim reports.
He added that the governors will also revisit the issue of the coalition against COVID-19, COVID palliatives, with updates on its current status in all states. He added that 3 groups will be making presentations at the meeting, scheduled to start by 2 p.m. This, according to him, include a joint effort between the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, and the Kaduna State Governor Malam Nasir El-Rufai, discussing how to assess pension funds for infrastructure development in the country. Others include resolutions and matters arising from the just concluded 26th Nigeria Economic Summit Group. Also slated for presentation is the medium and long-term national development agenda by the Core Working Group of Human Capital Development Program of Nigeria. Mr. Barkindo added that issue of stamp duty collection and a response to the Water Resource Minister on the Water Resources Bill would form part of the agenda. That has been the report. Rahma Ibrahim Dosa reporting for SVTV News.
The Federal High Court, Abuja, on Monday granted a suit seeking to apply for judicial review and order of mandamus to compel the Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, to provide details of financial donations received by the country in relation to the coronavirus pandemic. Mandamus is a judicial remedy in the form of an order from a court to any government, subordinate court, corporation, or public authority to do some specific act which that nobody is obliged under law to do and which is in the nature of public duty. Justice Ian Eko gave the ruling in a suit filed by Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and Heather Resources Center as first and second applicant respectively. For more on the story, Peter Phillips report.
Mr. Justice Eko also granted their plea to seek an order declaring that the failure of the CBN to provide the plaintiff with information on the sources of donations, how they are being applied, among others, amounted to a violation of the applicant's rights under the Freedom of Information Act and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. He ordered the applicant to file within 7 days a formal application for the orders sought, which must be served on the respondents within 7 days. The judge also ordered the respondents to, upon being served, file its response within 30 days. The applicant, in a supporting affidavit, said they sought an order declaring that the failure of the respondents to publish and provide comprehensive details of financial donations received towards responding to the emergence of COVID-19 till date, a detailed list of the names of the donors, sources of the donations and the amounts contributed by each of the individuals and corporate bodies, as well as the date each donations were received by the CBN constitute a breach of the applicant's rights under the Freedom of Information Act 2011 and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Peter Phillips, SVTV News, Gusau.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, on Monday described as weird, reprehensive and repulsive that the Buhari presidency now seeks to turn itself into a mouthpiece of terrorists by its subtle attempt to rationalize the killing of innocent and hardworking Nigerians. This is as the PDP expressed shock that the Buhari presidency has graduated from making bogus claims of having degraded terrorism to the embarrassing point of blaming unprotected and helpless Nigerians for falling victims of terrorist attacks. It said this is the height of leadership failure of the lazy, legalistic and incompetent Buhari administration. It stressed that it alarmed by the reckless and bizarre attempt by the Buhari presidency to rationalize the gruesome beheading of 43 innocent Nigerians by insurgents in Zabarmari, Borno State. The PDP particularly said that it is outraged by the Buhari presidency claims that the farmers were killed because they failed to get clearance before going to their farms. The party, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Kola, said that the statement by the presidency is also an admission that the Buhari administration has been overwhelmed by terrorists and can no longer guarantee Nigerians and other citizens a normal life. The caretaker extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the ruling All Progressives Congress on Monday announced the commencement of the party membership registration and revalidation. The 4 weeks exercise, which will take place simultaneously in all the wards in the 36th state and the Federal Capital Territory, will commence on December 12, 2020 to January 9, 2021. Chairman of the Caretaker Committee, Governor May Malabuni, in a statement in Abuja on Monday, said the date for the exercise was arrived at after wide consultations with stakeholders, including President Muhammadu Buhari. For more on the story, over now to our correspondent, Shehu Magaji.
This development has foreclosed the possibility of the National Convention of the party holding this year, as directed by the Emergency National Executive Committee NEC meeting of June 25, which inaugurated the 13-man caretaker committee with the mandate to conduct the convention within 6 months. The caretaker committee chairman assured that registration materials will be distributed to all the wards before the commencement of the exercise and urged members to avail themselves the opportunity of the exercise to revalidate their membership status, while prospective members are to take advantage of process to get registered. That has been the report. Shehu Magaji reporting for SBTV News.
A team of high-level officials representing the executive and legislative arms of government was in Maiduguri on Monday to deliver a message of condolence and solidarity with the government and people of Borno State following the recent Boko Haram killing of 43 farm workers. The Senate President, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, spoke for the team, and the Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, representing President Muhammadu Buhari, presented a joint message on behalf of the President, the government and people of Nigeria to the Governor, the Shehu of Borno and the bereaved Zabarmari community, describing the massacre of the farm workers as the worst form of senseless, barbaric and gruesome murder. For more on the story, of now to our correspondent Samira Ibrahim.
In the message, President Muhammadu Buhari expressed condolence to the government and people of Nigeria and gave strong assurance of his continuous commitment to fighting insurgency and all forms of insecurity in Borno State and all over Nigeria. The president committed himself to making more resources available to the military to prosecute the war, adding that he will work closely with neighboring countries on bilateral and multilateral levels to ensure that there is no hiding place for the terrorists. The president reaffirmed that nothing is more important than ensuring the security of lives and property of the people. As the country mourns the loss of the people in Zabarmari, the armed forces have been given the marching order to take the fight to the insurgents not on a one-off but on a continuous basis until the terrorists are rooted out. President Buhari commended Governor Babagana Umar Zulum for his leadership in running the affairs of the state. In his response, Governor Zulum thanked the president for ensuring relative peace since his assumption of office, stating clearly that the situation is much better than he met it. The governor presented a number of requests on behalf of his people, including that the youth of the state should be enlisted in military and paramilitary organizations to play their roles in the defense of the nation. He called on the federal government to assist in the repatriation of Borno indigents in camps in neighboring countries and requested the National Assembly to tweak the draft budget now before them to allow better allocation of resources for the Northeast sub-region, which he alleged is being sidelined. At the palace of the Shehu of Borno, His Eminence Abubakar Umar Ibn Garbai, the traditional ruler, described as madness the gruesome killings and urged his subjects to pray and offer useful information to the security agencies. He thanked President Buhari for his efforts in returning normalcy to the state. The delegation was also in Zabarmari Jere local government area where the incident took place. The local Imam Alhaji Idris, who responded on behalf of the community, said they were touched by the president's gesture, saying they are happy that the president is with them in their moment of grief. Aside the Senate President and Chief of Staff to the President, the delegation included the House Majority Whip Tahir Mungunu, the Ministers of the Federal Capital Territory, Mohammed Musa Bello, Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, Agriculture State, Mustafa Shehuri, and Works and Housing State, Engineer Abubakar Aliyu. Others are National Security Advisor Major General Babagana Mungunu, retired, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. Meanwhile, the United States, UN, has condemned the killing of 43 rice farmers in Jere local government area of Borno State. Samira Ibrahim reporting for SVTV News, Gusau.
Still to come your way is the business, the sports, and the international news. But before then, a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Let me quickly take you to our business desk for the business update.
Welcome to Business Desk. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to get the country a unified exchange rate for the Naira. It remains stable at 378 Naira to a dollar on the CBN's official rate. The Naira was on Sunday exchanging at 500 Naira to a dollar at the parallel market. The currency got a long-time low after weakening by 4 Naira from 496 to a dollar. It closed on Friday. The IMF said the Nigerian economy is struggling with multiple shocks and it's expected to grow by minus 4.3% in 2020 before the modest recovery in 2021 to 1.7%. The IMF said exchange rate rigidities have constrained the economy's ability to absorb external shocks. It called for a unified exchange rate for the Naira to promote growth and attractive foreign capital. Still on the business news, the country manager, Harvest Plus Nigeria, Dr. Paul Ilona, has warned that food inflation is going to persist as climate change continues to harm food production. Speaking with newsmen, Mr. Ilona said drop in crop productivity was being witnessed across the country, caused by the changes in rainfall and higher temperatures. He said the country will continue facing higher prices than the previous year due to supply and production bottlenecks as economic activity struggles to come back to normalcy. He said, while long-term climate change impacts were another pressure on food prices, short-term price spikes were likely due to extreme weather events. And that's all on Business Desk today. I'm Samira Ibrahim. Back to the newsroom.
And on sports.
Hello, welcome to Sports News. I'm Abu Sufyan Abubakar. The Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 says the 2020 National Sports Festival scheduled to hold in Edo has been postponed to 2021. At a briefing on Monday in Abuja, the PTF chairman and the secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Bose Mustafa, said the postponement was to allow proper measures to be put in place. Mr. Mustafa said that with more than 12,000 participants expected at the event, there was a need for the adjustment. Over the past few weeks, discussions have been held about safety issues pertaining to the National Sports Festival scheduled to hold in Benin. New dates have been agreed upon early in 2021, before which measures will be put in place to minimize infections. While calling for the continuous surveillance across the country and strict adherence to non-pharmaceutical measures against the novel coronavirus, the SGF said that the PTF was working on a strategy for gaining access to vaccines as soon as it's available. He said there had been positive developments around the world regarding COVID-19 vaccines. The chairman said that the PTF was escalating its surveillance and testing drive to ensure containment of the virus ahead of Christmas season for the safety and health of the citizens. He said that the PTF will continue to remind Nigerians that all non-essential trips shall be put off during the season. And that's all we have on Sports Desk. I'm Abu Sufyan once again.
And on the international scene, a U.S.-based media politico has reported that the U.S. President-elect Joe Biden is set to announce a Nigerian-born attorney, Adewale Adeyomo, as Deputy Treasury Secretary. Mr. Adeyomo, who is a former senior international economic advisor during the Obama administration, will serve under former Federal Reserve Chair Janet Yellen, who Biden plans to appoint to lead the U.S. Treasury Department. Mr. Adeyomo's appointment is one of the many key cabinet positions Biden is expected to announce in the coming days. Born in Nigeria, Adeyomo was raised in California, where he obtained a bachelor's degree before proceeding to Yale Law School for his legal education. Before his appointment into the Obama administration, Adeyomo worked as an editor at the Hamilton Project, then served as senior advisor and Deputy Chief of Staff to Jack Lee in the United States Department of Treasury. He later worked as the Chief Negotiator for the Trans-Pacific Partnership and also served as the first Chief of Staff of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau under Elizabeth Warren. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara village held, 7 Katsina farmers killed, 38 others abducted. Governors to meet on Wednesday over insecurity. President Muhammadu Buhari vows to end terrorism soon. On business, International Monetary Fund seeks unified exchange rate for Naira. On sports, National Sports Festival postponed to 2021 over COVID-19. And on the international scene, Biden to appoint Nigerian-born Adewale Adeyomo as U.S. Deputy Treasury Secretary. That's the news on behalf of the production crew and Head of News and Current Affairs Department, Alhaji Ibrahim Garabatunau. I still remain Musa Joy Onyoda. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.